If you're a construction company in the UK, you're running ads and you're getting leads in, but you can't close them, watch this video because I'm going to break down some of the reasons why that might be. The most common complaint is that the leads, they're rubbish, right? And a lot of the time that is true. Sometimes leads are not very good. But in a lot of other cases, that's not necessarily true. Sometimes the leads are completely fine. It's the process that's the problem. And I'm going to give you 4 specific reasons exactly why that's the case. And it's not the leads that are rubbish, it's your process that is rubbish. So, reason one why your leads might not be converting is you're calling them too late. If someone's just filled out a form, they've Googled electrician near me, plumber near me, they aren't loyal to you just because they filled out a form. They're loyal to whoever calls them back first and gives them a good price. And the research backs up this fact. If you call them within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes, even a small difference between these two, even that 25 minutes is enough to not get you that conversion and close that job. So it doesn't matter if your leads are coming in and they're hot and they're great. If you're not calling them quickly, then you might as well just do nothing. So here's a practical tip for you. Firstly, you could get a virtual assistant. Now, this doesn't have to be expensive. They'll take the calls for you and book appointments. Alternatively, if you don't want to pay the money for that, you can set up notifications on your phone so that a specific noise plays so that you know exactly what that notification is relating to. It's relating to work, and you know that you have to respond immediately even if you're on a job. But of all the tips I'm going to give in this video, if you can just reply within 5 minutes, that's going to be the biggest thing. So reason two why you're not converting or closing any of your leads is because you call once and give up, right? You get a lead come in and you give them a call and you get no answer. So what do you do? Well, they're obviously not interested. It's obviously a spam lead. You just never contact them again. That's not what you want to do. Maybe they're busy. Maybe something's come up. Even if you called them 5 minutes later, maybe something's come up. You need to, after this point, after calling and not getting picked up, you want to call them again 20 minutes later. Remember, they filled out your form. They've asked you to contact them. So you're not spamming them. You are just answering their request for help. And if they don't answer, then you just give them a WhatsApp text and just say, hey, I tried to give you a call regarding your form. You filled out our form. You're looking for a new replacement boiler. I'm happy to chat with whenever it suits you. My name is XYZ. And then again, maybe 2 days later, if they still haven't responded, you can give them one more call. Because if you called them back initially quick enough, it's probably not likely that they've gone and got another quote, or it's probably likely that nobody else has contacted them. So if you're persistent, you're going to be the one who gets that job. So reason three why you're not converting your leads is because you're quoting over the phone. Now, this can be a big mistake, and there's a few reasons why. So reason one is that you might quote too high and scare them off. I'm not saying you necessarily need to compete on price or reduce your prices or anything like that. But let's say they gave more information to another person that's given them a call. And as a result, they're able to quote lower. You would have quoted lower otherwise, but because you didn't have that additional information, you're quoting too high. You'll immediately lose that lead. They think you're trying to scam them, right? That's reason one. And reason two is you're committed to that price. Let's say you turn up to the job and you realize it's going to cost a lot more or something goes wrong. Either way, you're committed to that price that you've given them without full context of actually what they need from you and how much it's going to cost for a proper job. Often customers will say on the phone it's XYZ, but you turn up on site and it's completely different. So here's an alternative approach. So on the phone, you just say, hey, I'm going to have to come on site, come to your house or wherever you need to go and give you an in-person quote. Now, you can't leave it at that because often they'll just call someone else and someone else will be able to give them a quote. And people like to know a ballpark range. So all you're going to do is give them a rough estimate. And you can say, if you don't want to go there in person, you can say, well, if you can either send me these photos that I need to gain the full context, Alternatively, I can come there tomorrow and quote. Now, doing the quote in person will increase your conversion rate way more because, firstly, if you've said that you're going to turn up, they're not going to want five other electricians turning up to give a quote. Maximum, they might only have one other person. So you're only competing with that one other person. And secondly, chances are people buy from people. So if they see you in person, they trust you, you look like a friendly face, you're kind, they're a lot more likely to convert than if you're just some random person who's just called them. Reason four, and this will increase your efficiency by a lot, is the problem is you're not qualifying. You're just taking anyone who comes in the door and treating them as equal. And, in business, you don't need to do that. You need to qualify the leads over the phone. So here's 4 questions you can ask. Because if you're going to be going to someone's house to give them a quote, you want to make sure that they're at least qualified. So you want to be asking, what's the job? What needs doing? Do you need a full house rewire or do you need only a new fuse box? When do you need it done? Now, if they're saying, oh, I need it done next year, if there's no urgency, then it might be an indicator that actually it's probably not worth wasting your time going out there. Again, are there other quotes that they've had? This can be actually a double-edged sword. If they have other quotes, it does show that they're interested, but it shows that they're price shopping, and so again, might be less likely to close. And again, what's their budget? Now, this set is going to save you so much time. If you're just asking, okay, well, how much did you have in mind? If your prices are completely off, it's not worth you even going to their house to give them a quote because you were never going to be on the same page anyways. You want to be spending your petrol money and spending your time on the hot leads, not tire kickers. Just to have an overview, previously, what you were doing is you were just giving them a call once after about an hour and getting nowhere, and the leads were apparently rubbish. Now, you're calling within 5 minutes. You're not calling once, you're calling twice, then sending them a WhatsApp message and then calling them again. You're not quoting them over the phone and you're not giving an exact quote. You are agreeing to come to their house and give an in-person estimate, and you're qualifying over the phone, okay? To make sure you're not wasting your time on people who weren't ever going to buy from you in the first place. And all of this is free for the most part. You can take calls on your own. You can call once, twice, 3 times, and text. WhatsApp's free. These questions are free to ask on the phone. So for completely free, you might double your close rate. So remember, the leads aren't always the problem. You need to also take a look at your system. Now, if you want help with all of this or you found this video useful, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to have a call with me and see if I can help you out with your system and increasing your conversions, there's a link to our website in the description. Just click it there and book a free call.